Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 49 of Just Lying Around, the Detroit Lions podcast presented by the World of Football. I'm your host, Kyle Sutherland, and I'm joined by my co host and brother in law, Adam Snow. Adam, today I woke up feeling like a champion because the Detroit Lions won what felt like a really important, almost like, I don't know, like a pre Super Bowl type of game here that everyone was kind of saying, hey, this is like a Super Bowl.
Some would call it a playoff type game, Kyle. That's before the Super Bowl.
Well,
But
that
no,
too.
how much sleep did you get? Because you and I worked this morning. I probably got 4 hours of sleep, if that.
I went to bed at midnight. I watched a little of the after show with Jared Goff on their um,
Post
post
game.
game. So yeah,
Okay, I kind of turned it off after Jake Bates hit the kick. I stood up, I did one of these, and then I went to bed. And then I had to get up early because it's Michigan and the weather. You don't know how it's going to be, so I wake up earlier now to brush my car off and all that. So I got about 4 hours of sleep.
sounds about right. All right.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm feeling it. I know you're feeling it. We're doing this Friday afternoon after the internet's been a buzz about this game all day long. I can't wait to talk to you about it because I know how much you love the internet.
Detroit Lions fans are celebrating and the Packers fans are whining. Imagine that.
I mean, it's been unreal. The amount my feed has been flooded with just crybaby Packer fans. And look, we'll talk about some of the issues they have with what happened last night, but y'all, have you not seen what Detroit went through for nearly 50 years? Y'all can suck it up.
Yeah. All right. On today's show, we're going to go over the Lions' Week 14 win against the Green Bay Packers on Thursday Night Football on Amazon and look ahead at Week 15 against the Buffalo Bills. So Lions 34, Packers 31. First half, Lions pretty much dominated, especially that defense made of a bunch of ragtag people on the front seven. And you guys probably see the Hard Knocks video of the Detroit Lions or Dan Campbell's interview of where he said it doesn't matter if we have one ass cheek, three toes, we're still gonna beat your butt. But yeah, that first half was definitely that they put that saying from Dan Campbell into effect there. And then second half there, towards the end of the game, Dan Campbell comes out with another beautiful phrase of all we gotta do is just grab onto you from the shallows, drag you out to the deep dark abyss and drown you. And last that last few plays by the Lions was a reflection of that as well. So Dan Campbell's he knows what he's talking about there.
Look, there's a lot that this coaching staff deserves credit for. I know there's a lot that fans are going to be putting into question. But the fact that with 13 guys on IR, whatever the ridiculous number is, the amount of changes and guys we literally signed to the team this week playing in this game, guys usually there's a couple games every year where we're like, who's that guy? Who's this guy that just made a tackle for our defense? That was this game times 10 because there are 10 guys. I'm like, I don't know who that is. I've never heard of this guy before. Oh, that guy made a tackle? Great. I don't know who he is, but I'm appreciative that he can tackle another football player. The coaching that Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell have done with this defense is awesome. Like the first half more so because I think they came out with a plan that, look, guys, we're going to script the beginning. We're just going to attack. Jamal Adams was in the face of Jordan Love, play number one. Jamal Adams has been with the team for 5 days. Zadarius Smith with the pressure, getting the sack. It was just incredible how that defense played to start the game. Now, what stinks is inexperienced guys all haven't played together. Eventually, second half, Green Bay started wearing them down, and it was very evident that it's a very, very bend, and maybe you might break a couple times defense. It wasn't perfect by any means, The corners did their job. I think they kept a lot in front of them. There was only one or two plays that really got behind the DBs, which has always been my biggest concern. But I mean, when you look at it, at the end of the day, we held the Packers, or at least their starting running back, another less than 100-yard rusher. Yeah, he had 3 TDs during the game, but we held him to under 100 yards. So the front seven was still playing really good. So kudos to them and that coaching staff. And then, I think because of some offensive mistakes and I think a coaching gaffe, that's the reason why I think Green Bay was in this game. Now I hear Packers fans screaming, "Oh, but the officials! Oh, but the officials!" Guys, there was stuff on both sides. There's play. I saw the montage of everybody like, look at all these plays the Lions got away with. Which, hey, we're very flattered. This has never happened to this franchise. Usually, we're the ones posting all the times we got jobbed in a game by our zebra. But where was the Packer that jumped on top of that pile? I didn't see a flag for that, guys. We saw that flag during the Colts game against the Colts. Didn't see that for the Packers this week. I definitely saw a face mask by Josh Jacobs on one of his runs. That didn't get called, guys. Where was that flag? Everybody's talking about Kirby Joseph playing dirty and aiming for the knees. I saw your guys aiming for our knees too. So what are we all boo-hooing about? Look, there's going to be missed calls on both sides. It happens. What matters is, can your team overcome that stuff to win the game? And this Detroit Lions team, Kyle, and I will wrap up so you can continue on with your script, is they overcame the stuff that would have tripped this team up in the past. There were mistakes that the Lions made in this game that, like that interception, that Goff interception would have been a killer 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago. You throw a pick in that situation, and the fact that the game flips like that, they score 14 points, in the span of no time to take the lead all of a sudden. That's the old Lions. The new Lions were just like, all right, you knocked us down. We're going to get back up. And on the way back up, guys, we're going to bite a kneecap.
Yeah, I don't know. Packers can't cry about it because second half, Lee McNeil got hurt, so he was out. So you got
They all
people
need to
in
take after Tom Grossi. You and I are both Tom Grossi fans. I watched a lot of Packer reaction. I'm not kidding. I even listened to the Locked On Packers podcast. That dude is a crybaby. Oh my God. I listened to other teams as Locked On after the Lions games. They have been, I don't think they complained as much as this guy did. This was one of the worst podcasts I've ever listened to. Crybaby Packer fan, whoever at Locked On Packers podcast, I don't care. He's got more followers than we do probably, so we don't matter to him. That's fine. But Tom Grossi, though, has got a bigger platform than a lot of us that talk about football. And he's like, hey, stuff happens. We got to overcome it. Like, he was probably the best reaction of a Packers fan I saw, and I respect the crap out of that. Because if we would have lost that game, that's how I would have been. I wouldn't have blamed penalties. I'd have blamed a lot of other stuff, and it's on us before it becomes the referees that affect the game.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's jump into the stats real quick, and we'll talk more about the game here. Jared Goff, 32 of 41 for 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. I don't know what he was thinking on that one there. David Montgomery, 14 carries, 51 yards, 3.6 average per carry with 1 touchdown, 5 receptions for 33 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 15 carries, 43 yards, 2.9 average per carry, 6 receptions for 30 yards and 1 touchdown. Jamison Williams had a big game, 5 receptions for 80 yards. And another guy who got a game ball here, Tim Patrick, 6 receptions for 43 yards. And finally, after 3 years, he got a touchdown, but he actually got 2 touchdowns this game. So good job for him. I think the Lions have unlocked Tim Patrick, and I think moving forward, Tim Patrick stays healthy. I think he's going to be a really big role for this Lions offense here.
He has been he's been an unsung hero of this offense. He has made big catches. All I've been waiting for since we've gotten him, since he's kind of slowly worked his way into how Jared Goff operates and looks for him in his progressions, has been this guy's just got to get in the end zone. Yeah, he had that one called back. What was that, the Dallas game? But then in this game, when he finally got it, I was so happy. I think I stood up. I don't remember. It was all a blur. I was just like, fist pumping, all that. I was so happy for Tim Patrick. And the fact that Jared Goff picked up the ball and took it with him to the sideline to give to Tim Patrick as his first touchdown since coming back from all the injuries and stuff. His first touchdown as a Lion. That is Jared Goff in a nutshell, and I love it. Class act. The dude deserves Man of the Year. I don't care. All 31 other nominees, I'm sure, deserve it too, but Jared Goff is just a cut above with what he's had to deal with and what he's been doing for on the field and off. Awesome moment there. But very happy for Tim Patrick, Kyle. I'll let you continue.
Yeah. Speaking of like Jared Goff, real quick, he did his post-game interviews, press conference there, and at the very end, like going off script, not even asked about it, he said, I want to give one last shout out to this defense with the people that they brought in, short notice, the way they played this game. It really meant a lot to Jared Goff. So, yeah, I think good job for Jared Goff for doing that there.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk more about the game itself. I know you're going through stats still, but I mean, class act, that Mr. Goff.
Yep. So Packers side, Jordan Love, 12 of 20, 206 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 carries for 23 yards. Josh Jacobs, 18 carries, 66 yards, 3.7 average with 3 touchdowns. And Christian Watson, 4 receptions for 114 yards. Total yards, Lions, 391. Packers, 298. And big thing here I talked about on the pregame episode, control the time of possession. The Lions did that. They had 36 minutes and 6 seconds, and Packers 23 minutes and 54 seconds. So offensive side, Taylor Decker out for this game again. I think they're just trying to rest him, make sure he's all right. Skipper stepped in, and I gotta say, Skipper had a really great game this time. I think he's doing a good job overall with Decker being out. But in 44 passing plays, he only allowed 1 pressure this game, so that's big on Skipper. And if you watch that locker room celebration,
Man, he must have had a real rough game if he was just like, I'm just gonna hurl right here in the locker room.
I could tell Dan Campbell, he was fired up.
Oh yeah, that was one of the better post games. Yeah, you could tell just by his voice alone that one meant a lot.
Yeah. Other than that, tough time for this running game by both teams. Like, gotta give it to Green Bay, man. They really knew how to stop this run,
Oh
especially
yeah.
with Gibbs. You've seen a lot of Gibbs getting handed the ball, being tackled right away, fighting for those yards, and same thing for Montgomery as well. So, kind of had to have Jared Goff step up on those 4th down conversions for 1 yard, quarterback sneaks, and throwing it downfield to their wide receivers there.
Look, Monty and Gibbs. I mean, yeah. Let's talk about that for a second. They, like you said, tough time. Packers defense, man. Everybody, both sides of the ball, attacking the ball carrier. It was just hard hitting. Typical black and blue division football, and I was impressed with how the Packers stood up to our run game. I'm not even gonna lie, but I also want to give the duo a shout out because their run blocking or pass blocking, sorry, in this game.
Oh,
Yeah. The amount of blitzes, the guys you'd see Montgomery pick up or Gibbs had to pick up at just the right moment to give Goff just enough time to get the ball out. Because Goff only took 1 sack during the game, if I'm remembering right. So they did incredible. And this is such a selfless team. Like, I think during the broadcast, they talk about how Amon-Ra, or I can't remember if it was the broadcaster, but how Amon-Ra, he gets a few looks his way, but you see him blocking downfield. Like, he's not a diva wide receiver who's saying, throw me the damn ball. He's, okay, I got to go out and block on this play. He knows what his assignment is, and he goes out and does it. He had a great block at one point for a play. I think even Jameson Williams had a great block to get Montgomery to the outside along the sideline. So these guys are selfless players on the football field. Nobody is out there trying to, pad their stats. While they each have their goals, I'm sure they play as a team and they ride or die together. It's awesome. And they had to play a really tough Packers team who gave them every ounce of fight in that, especially that second half. That Packers team was not going to go down, without a fight. And Detroit really had to, you know, go at them. And man, it was such a wild game.
Yeah, they were saying Goff threw to 6 people that had more than 5 receptions.
That's an
Or
NFL
5
record.
or more receptions this game. So
First
yeah,
time in NFL history.
Yep, everyone's getting balls there. So yeah, no one's selfish. Looking for those catches. Like when they come, and they're gonna do their job regardless. So yeah.
Yeah.
We already talked about time of possession. Lions won that. So good job on them. Making sure that defense stays off the field for the Lions because a lot of new people, especially older people, like you can't run those guys to the ground, and which it sort of showed at the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter there. They're kind of getting gassed out there.
Yeah. How'd you feel about the fourth downs, Kyle? Let's just get to it. The big topic, the fourth downs. Lions 4 of 5 on fourth down efficiency during this game. Let's hear it. What are your thoughts?
I thought Dan Campbell was going to gamble, and he's winning games, so I can't really argue with that.
Like, I'll be honest. I those 4 out of 5, I agreed with 4 out of the 5. The one I didn't agree with just happened to be the one they didn't get. I was like, look, they might get this. The one on their end of the field, I was like, look, they might get this. But I was like, in this situation, this isn't a situation where I would take that gamble. At least not at that point in the game. Third quarter, you're still leading. You have one of the best punters in the league who could pin them back. I'd say put Jack Fox out there and let him make the Packers drive down the field to earn some points. Instead, it backfires. You give them the ball back on your end of the field. Now, granted, maybe Dan Campbell's thinking, look, if we don't get it, they might just go through our defense anyway and score, and it becomes a time thing where instead of the Packers chewing 6, 7, 8 minutes off the clock to go score that touchdown on that next drive, it's a 2-3 minute, and that saves you time later in the game, which in hindsight, looking at how that game ended, giving Detroit the ball at the end of the game, I feel like that to me is how that worked out. Is like, look, that was terrible that happened for us and gave the Packers a score in the lead. But ultimately, it kind of domino affected into the Lions. Because then after that, it was back and forth. Like, completely back and forth. And that's how the Lions ended up with the ball last. Now, again, the other side is they convert that fourth down. And that drive continues. Who knows how that drive would have gone? Do they kick a field goal? Do they go down and score another touchdown? And maybe all this becomes irrelevant. And then it's the Packers still just chasing the Lions. And the Lions still able to run it out. But that's not how it went down. And the fact is, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some of those fourth downs. Campbell knows that, but he trusts in this team enough to know that, look, if we don't get it, guys, I trust you. I expect the offense to bounce back. I expect the defense to at least try to hold them to a field goal. If not, look, we go back out the next series, and it's 0-0, and we're just going to play our ball. And you got to like it. And then that fourth down at the end of the game, I don't know how you felt about that one either. About 40 seconds left. I get it. If I was playing Madden, I probably would kick the field goal. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Because even Kirk Herbstreit was like, oh, they're going to kick the field goal here. Oh, well, no, the offense is out there. They're just going to try to draw them off sides. Is Dan Campbell thinking that far ahead to where he's like, if I bring the offense out there to go for it, are they going to think that we're just going to try to draw them off sides? Then that gives you enough of a hesitation and advantage to push and get that extra yard. Like that.
Yeah, that last fourth down conversion, like, they called a timeout, and like they showed a angle of Goff asking for a ball, so he's throwing it back and forth. Yep. So I think they were trying to get in Green Bay's head, but that one fourth down conversion where they didn't convert. My only problem with that one is they had Jahmyr Gibbs in there instead of Montgomery. I know Jahmyr Gibbs is starting to turn into the kind of what Montgomery is doing, running down field or straight through the O-line there, but I don't know. I would have felt more comfortable if Montgomery was back in the backfield there for that play.
Maybe, but the way that play call ended up, going to the outside like that, I don't think was the right call. I think they just had to go up the middle. I know that Green Bay was stopping them in the middle, but it was a yard or two that they could have easily have gotten. I don't know
Well,
if you
yeah,
bring a
he
tight end
probably,
in motion and help bolster that lot, like that hole right there between the guard and center. Like go for that because Goff wasn't gonna be able to do that on his own. They were gonna plug that up. They needed something
yeah.
else to kind of get in there. So when he checked out of that play, because I believe he killed it, and then that's when the sweep to the
Sweet,
outside
yeah.
happened, and I don't know.
Or they should have just done a quick, like a Laporta, like a quick out route, just tossed it to him.
They, they're so good at that. They hit those 9 out of 10 times. I feel like that would have been a higher percentage than doing a sweep to the outside. While they had blockers in place, that Green Bay, I don't know if it was the safety or one of the linebackers, he sniffed that out right away. And
Yeah,
you could just see that one Packer guy
Walker.
just getting there. He made the play. Kudos to him. He saw it, read through it, and I don't know. That wouldn't have been my play call. I definitely wouldn't have done a sweep on a 4th and a foot or whatever it was at that point. I think you got to Lions just got to learn to tush push, right? Is that what we just got to do? Goff's a tall, lanky dude. Just tush push it.
Yeah. Well, he's not strong and he ain't deadlifting 500 pounds like
Well, maybe he needs to hang out
what's
with Panay some more. Hang out with that O line, G Goff, and put some muscle on them bones.
yeah. All right, let's turn it to the defensive side. First half, defensive really played well. A lot of blitzing, a lot of making Jordan Love uncomfortable there. They only allowed 7 points and caused the Green Bay to first 3 drives for the Green Bay, 2 punts and 1 fumble. So yeah, they were out there striking hot there. Um, and they 1 of 5 third down efficiency for the Packers. They caused 3 punts total and 1 sack. So overall, I mean, most of those are probably in the first half. We already talked about that second half. You could tell the defense was kind of getting gassed there. Um, uh, Carlton Davis, he was back, so that cornerback room and safety duo there, all the starters were playing. You could tell Brian Branch at the end there cramping up, so they had to get him off the field. I don't know. I don't think he went back in. I think they kept the other Joseph got safety out there for the rest of the game. Probably as like a precaution or whatever. Um, but yeah, what do you think the cornerback room overall did a good job? Safeties as well.
I think for the most part, I think that call on Tyrion Arnold in the back of the end zone, I don't know. I thought he was in a decent enough spot. I thought maybe even the Packer player might have stepped out of bounds first, but I'm probably wrong about that. That's fine. But I thought that was a little ticky tack. Uh, I think that the worst play for him was that big 50 whatever yard pass at the start of the second half,
Yeah, to
where
Christian
where
Watson.
yeah Davis got kind of burned.
Yeah.
It was like I don't know if they misread something or something, like they didn't even have a safety on top. I know they're probably playing man, but I don't know how you let that happen. It just seemed like he was like, "Whoa, fast man, run past me. I better try to catch up." It's like, well, shoot, dude. Like, what's going on here? Like, I don't know. I don't know if it was a blown coverage or just lack of anticipation. Hard to say. I don't play cornerback, and that's a hard position to play. But otherwise, I thought the corners played pretty decent. I don't think a lot of the Packers were down one of their top receivers, so I think that helped the assignment a little bit. But I mean, you still had their tight end who played great yesterday. Who was the receiver that had all the yards? Christian Watson had a nice game. So I don't know. For the most part, pretty good. Again, I think they got ticky tack called at a couple points, some of the pass interference, but again, I think the Lions play aggressive enough that that's going to happen, and we're just kind of live with
Yeah.
Tyrion Arnold or whoever. Like they might get away with it a lot of the time, but they might get called a couple times for it. So live
Yeah,
by it, die by it.
I noticed they brought Branch down in the box a lot this game to either like do a blitzes or whatever. Kind of left Kirby Joseph in the back there. So I think that was one of those plays where Jordan Love was looking at one receiver and switched over to Christian Watson and kind of threw Kirby Joseph off there. Because I think if Kirby Joseph would have read that right, he would have been there, probably got an interception. But he was a couple steps late there.
Yeah.
New notes from the game. Overall, I felt like a Thursday night game, especially for Amazon. You know how Amazon finally picked up the Thursday night games, kind of a lot of boring games that they started having there. But yeah, this game, slugfest for both teams, back and forth. Great Thursday night game overall there.
I think the last few weeks they've had great Thursday night games between, and I think having a division rival on a short week. Well, for the Lions and Packers, it wasn't a short week because they played on Thanksgiving, so they at least had a week for this one. But if I think Thursday night games need to be more division games, I think that's the secret sauce for Amazon's product, and I think Amazon has done pretty good quality wise. I mean, I like their broadcast or like their pregame crew. I like a lot of the stuff they do before the game. All the in game stuff, like you could like check in a different view of the game and watch all the players move. I caught a little bit of the replay of this on NFL Network this morning while I was at work. Don't tell my boss I was watching the end of the game. But they were re-showing the game, and they had a different view that wasn't on my broadcast that I watched. But it was cool seeing like they had all the guys highlighted and circled and moving around what the routes were looking like. It's just a cool way to watch football. I mean, you can watch it traditionally like you or I, which is just give me the regular broadcast, or you could switch on to that high, whatever that stat tracker vision is or whatever it's called. So I don't know. Amazon's got a good product, and they've lucked out with a couple of great division games the last few weeks, and it's made it must-watch TV because the Thursday night games were always like it's the Jaguars and Titans and a color rush game. Pass. Like I don't need to watch that trash.
Yeah, yeah. I think Amazon's doing a pretty good job there. So I want to give a shout out to one person here.
Is it the guy that snuck in the cheese and the cheese grater?
Yeah, him too.
Dude,
I don't know
what
how
an
he got
American
that
hero
through,
that guy is.
how he got that through security.
It had to have been a plastic grater, right? There's no way. There's no way a metal grater gets through that door. We've been to Ford Field.
He said it might be aluminum, but I don't think it was. It had to be steel.
Has that guy been interviewed anywhere? I haven't seen anything.
They probably saw him on the broadcast and was like, security, you need to go down there and confiscate that.
I mean, the next time the Packers come to Ford Field, right, you're going to have so many people sneak in cheese and cheese graters. Like those poor custodians at Ford Field are going to be just sweeping up mountains of cheese. All those people have just been grating cheese in their seat, Kyle. We'll probably be in the upper deck next to somebody next time doing that. Like you're gonna have cheese just sitting on the floor next to your Pepsi cup.
Bring some nachos so they can put some cheese on it.
Gross. I don't want your floor cheese.
Yeah. Anyways, I want to give a shout out to Ezekiel Turner, linebacker. If you watch the game, he's the guy that tackled Jordan Love and kind of snapped him down to the ground there.
Great tackle.
Yeah, that was a great tackle. But yeah, he got a really excellent grade, 91, which over, I think Jack Campbell got like a 90 PFF grade. So yeah, this guy, I think he's played a couple games now for the Lions. So I think the Lions are probably going to add him for the whole season there.
We'll see. Yeah, kudos to him. I was hoping you weren't about to shout out the guy who got into a verbal altercation with Matt LaFleur before the game, because come on, guys. Yeah. I mean, come on, guys. You're on the field to do the national anthem. You're holding the flag. The last thing we need, and I apologize on behalf of all Lions fans that this doofus did that. I think there's a little bit of jawing that could be fun, but it got taken too far. The throat-cutting gestures unnecessary. That guy does not represent most of us Lions fans. Like, there's just no place for that, my dude. Like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do like that it got under Matt LaFleur's skin, though. Matt LaFleur was clearly bothered by it.
Yeah, I think this has turned into a great rivalry.
How can it be a rivalry? We've kicked their butts 6 of the last 7 games, Kyle. It's not a rivalry anymore. Well, it's like saying Michigan-Ohio State's a rivalry, right?
But you got their tight end. Well, it's Tucker Kraft. jawing back and forth with Kirby Joseph.
He
And
at
he
least
did that.
backed up hit, man. He backed up whatever he was talking, because when he got hit and he just got up and did that like villain flip back up, I was like, this guy. Oof.
Yeah, if you watch that play, Kirby Joseph was going towards his midsection, but a lot of people were complaining, oh, wow, he's going for his knees again. But then Jack Campbell came in flying off screen and just pounded him to the ground. And then, yeah, Tucker Kraft did that karate flip or whatever to get back up. Like, dang.
Yeah, I was like, this dude, like, man,
Yeah.
kudos.
So, yeah, we already talked about it. Lee McNeil, he got hurt. During the first half, they thought he went to concussion protocol, came back out. After the half, he went back to the locker room with a neck injury. So hopefully it's not something major. He can hopefully get back for the Bills game. We already talked about Brian Branch. But yeah, those two overall were the only people that got hurt this game. So that's a good sign. We don't need any more players getting hurt like the
Sure
last
don't.
couple games there. Let's jump into Week 15 preview. Lions versus the Bills. It is on Sunday, December 15th at home at 4:25 p.m. on CBS. Uh, Luckily, it's a 10 days of rest for the Lions, so hopefully we can get some starters back. Mainly, sounds like Pascal, DJ Reader, and hopefully McNeil can be back for this game because they need help on that front line of theirs. I
Do you
don't
know if
know about.
Decker's timeline?
Yeah, I think he should be back too. I think they gave him a little extra rest there. I don't know about Levi Onzarike yet. I don't know if he's going to be back or not. Sounds like he might miss another game here.
I know that 10 days will be important, especially with some of the guys they just brought in. We'll see who they decide to keep, who they move off of, depending on availability, health, all that. So I think any time to let that group gel is only going to be good, because look what they did off of 5 days of like being together. Like that first half was great. Like you give them a little more prep time, practice time together, kind of gel a little bit. I know it's not ideal, but it'll probably be better and more consistent throughout the game than that ended up being like with that Packers game. And you're playing a very tough Bills team that can run it, throw it. Josh Allen, you got to really keep your head on a swivel, because he can also take it off and mow you over. So I'm not excited about this one. I'm not going to say I'm nervous, but this is definitely a game that I'm like, this is one you got to come and show up for, Detroit. Like this is a very big game.
Yeah, I'd like to see Jack Campbell just focus on Josh Allen. Like, if he starts running, you go after him. Because I think Jack Campbell is one of those guys who can take these big guys out tackling by themselves. Um, but yeah, high-powered offense for the Bills. Any way you can stop them. One thing that's going to help with that is for the Lions, offensive side, run the ball and control the time of possession. That's really going to help keep the Bills off the field there.
Yeah, that's going to be the secret sauce. Can we get both these running backs, going again? I'm not sure. You'll go into it on your preview, I'm sure, where the Bills rank in PFF, and obviously they haven't played their game this week, so we'll see how they look in their matchup against who do they play this week again? I forget at the top of my head.
Bills. Let's see.
They got somebody. I didn't think it was a cakewalk.
Rams. They play
All
Rams. Yeah.
that should be a tough game. I think the Bills will still pull it out, but I mean, you never know. We'll see how tough the Rams play. The Rams are also in desperation mode. They're still in the hunt for their division, so that should be an interesting and good game. So I expect a lot of Josh Allen, throwing screens and stuff. I think the Lions receivers will, I won't say lock down the Bills receivers. I can't name any of the receivers other than Amari Cooper. To be honest with you, as good as the Bills team has been playing, but it's the Josh Allen show. We shut him down. We keep his options minimal, and I think we can contain him. We'll see if we can stop. What's their running back? James Cook. right?
Yep.
He's been playing great all season too. Can the Lions have another running back they hold under 100 yards rushing? We'll see. This should be. I'm not going to call it a Super Bowl preview because you never know, with these things. But the Bills are one of the top 4 teams in the league, obviously, if not the top team. Even with Detroit being banged up, Detroit's still a top 4 team. So this should be a great matchup. It is a shame that this isn't another one of those primetime games because I'm sure the league is like, dang, why didn't we put Buffalo Detroit on like Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football or something? Instead,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
get
see.
Tony Romo probably on the call.
Yeah, we'll see. If they can get DJ and McNeil back, like I feel more comfortable with that front four there. Uh, but yeah, we'll just have to see coming up further into the week.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
Other than, did you see the clip of the Grinch with the dance team?
Yeah, what was that? I didn't understand that.
So it was just the Grinch with the dance team, but I think that video was taken at one of those Cosm venues, where the people go and watch the game from a different angle. You seen those things?
Oh yeah, like where you felt like you were right up watching the game.
I'm pretty sure that's what that was, it was kind of cool. That was a lot of fun. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, Keegan Michael Key on the pregame was great. Yeah, just it's nice to get a win, Kyle. And all the there's a Packers fan at work. Oh, this is my other thing, real quick. So if you are considering yourself a diehard fan, Kyle, would you pay for Amazon even if you knew that your team was only going to be on Amazon for one game? If you were a diehard fan,
If I was a diehard fan, I'd find a different way to watch the game.
okay, because there's some diehard fans at work, Lions and Packers fans, saying, "Oh, I didn't actually watch the game last night because I don't have Amazon, but I'm a diehard fan."
If you don't have
If you're a
Amazon
diehard,
Prime,
you're gonna find a way. All right, you're gonna find a way to watch the game. There's ways.
I think everyone should have Amazon Prime by now.
Okay,
It's like one of
Bezos,
those things
chill.
you just have to have.
Look, it's okay. Everybody, I don't know if people know this. You pay for Amazon Prime for the shipping of packages, and the streaming service that the football games are on is free with it. Well, I think it's like $3 maybe, but like it's cheap. It's the cheapest streaming service technically you could get. But you know, whatever. I watch a lot of stuff on Amazon because one guy, Packers fan at work, was saying, "What's on Amazon to watch?" I don't need it. I'm like, there's
A lot of
a
stuff.
Batman cartoon series. There's Lord of the Rings. There's The Boys. There's Jeopardy. They got that new pop culture Jeopardy, which is pretty fun. Kyle, just check that out. There's a lot of good stuff on Amazon. It's a good streaming service, and they're becoming a pretty decent football broadcaster too.
Yeah, and they got what Netflix coming up on Christmas.
Yeah, they got 2 games on Christmas, right? I think two
Yep.
games on Netflix. So that'll be interesting. We'll see if they drop the ball like they did with the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight.
I'm pretty sure with the NFL and all their money, they're probably going to Netflix and saying if this happens, like we're not doing this next year. So
Oh yeah, Netflix is gonna catch so much if that happens. But that's not a Lions game, so we don't have to worry about it.
yeah.
So
All right, let's go ahead and close it out here.
okie dokie, sir. All right, guys. We hope you have enjoyed listening or watching today's episode. Come back for more. Be sure to visit the World of Football's website, www.theworldoffootball.com, for news, links, upcoming events, original articles, videos, and more. If you want to get in touch with us, send us an email to info@theworldoffootball.com, or you can connect with us by either liking the World of Football on Facebook or following the World of Football's X account, formerly known as Twitter. Those links will be in the episode description. Be sure to check out our flagship podcast, This Week in the World of Football. I do with my dad every single Tuesday. We talk about all things in the world of football. You can find that also in this same podcast feed or on the YouTube channel. So again, links down in the description below. We got a lot of videos coming this week, Kyle. I'm currently in the process of, I'll be editing this video and getting it up. We have an interview with somebody from the football world that is going to be going up tonight as well, this being Friday. We have our Grey Cup travelogue still to come, which I'm about to start editing also. So it's going to be a very busy weekend getting videos up for me.
Sounds like a full-time job.
You would think. It kind of feels like it, but I mean, here I am.
Well, I'm pretty sure everyone's excited for that Barry Sanders interview you guys are gonna do.
Well, don't even don't give people false hope. But trust me though, it is a great fun interview. I don't want to spoil who it is. Hint: it's not anybody from the NFL or the outdoor game. That's all I will say.
UFL, Jake Bates.
Again, I just said nobody from the outdoor game,
Oh.
Kyle. God.
All right, that's it for us this week. Everyone should have a 10 days of rest. I know myself, blood pressure medicine. I had to take it right after that game because I was shocked. But I should have a preview podcast up before probably Friday next week for this upcoming Lions versus Bills. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, thanks for watching, subscribing, liking, all that stuff. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Go Lions.
Bye. Go Lions.